Did you find a mouse or a rabbit? What did you find? Oh, did you find anything? Hello, my name is Steph Bartlett. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I share a lot of farm life, a bit of wellness, a bit of travel, a bit of everything. Basically, I'm all about being wildly you and living life your way. And a big part of that for me is farm life. I live on our family farm. I'm not actually a farmer, but I help out quite a bit. And in the past couple of months, I've just started sharing more YouTube videos about farm life. You guys are loving it, I'm loving it, so I'm going to keep it going. Anyhow, for this week's YouTube video, I had this brilliant idea of what I would film for this week's video, and it didn't go to plan. Thank you very much, Farmer Paul. I'm gonna cut to a little clip so you know exactly what I'm talking about.
There's one over there for join us.
Oh, well done.
That's what I'm sort of doing.
Excuse me.
Oh, good morning, Steph.
Yeah, so apparently today we're meant to be classing rams. And yeah, just waiting for the heads up. When are we doing it?
You know what? How good's the rain?
Changing the subject.
Good is the rain. Like we had 8 mil, still raining. It's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, and about the rams?
And we're cleaning the shed up now. We're doing a great job. No, unfortunately, yeah, we had a bit of a. It got a bit enthusiastic, didn't we? And we just did it and kind of got to tell you, so we do apologise. But the good news is we will be classing the hoggets next week.
Okay.
And there's a reasonable chance that I'll remind you.
I'm gonna have my drone out like a spy cam and just make sure I see if I hear a motorbike go, the sheepdog out, I'll be like, right, they're moving sheep, I'm out of here.
No, I apologise for that.
You know what though, things always work out in the end, and the fact that Farmer Paul and Farmer Charles were cleaning out that old shed, which was actually where people used to live when they first established the farm here, that got my brain ticking, and I thought, let's go on a little bit of a journey to discover the history of this property. So I gave myself a day for an excursion. I went into town, I've gone to the national park near here, I've travelled all around getting all kinds of footage for you to give us a better understanding of the background of this property. And I actually had so much fun learning about this. I thought I already knew quite a bit about the property, but I've learned even more. So are you ready? Ready for today's YouTube video? I hope so. Let's go.
Burn a little brighter every day, swimming in the tide against the waves, and I can hold my breath until they crash.
A quick little farm update to start with. We've had rain this week. We've had at least 20 mil. It might even be well over 20 mil. We've got more rain forecast again tomorrow. The canola's growing, the crops are looking good. We've even got some flowers starting to happen on the canola now, which is awesome. We are at the end of winter, so close to stepping into spring now, and it shows. We've got these beautiful sunsets. All the wattle is starting to flower as well. Spring is definitely in the air, and I'm pretty happy about that. And for me, it's been much of the same. Morning walks, morning farm walks, check in for the eggs, and the girls are still laying. I'm so happy about that. I had some client coaching calls. I do business coaching. I was teaching yoga classes, and of course, getting this YouTube video footage for you as well. At the start of this video, you saw that Farmer Paul and Farmer Charles have been cleaning out this shed. So what's the go in here at the moment?
Just sorting all the pipe fittings out, really.
So this is the pipe fitting shed, is it?
Yeah, floats and all sorts, and good rainy day job, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, so is it easy to find things in here?
If you know what you're looking for, yeah. That will make it even easier.
Excellent.
So, yeah, it should be good.
People used to live in here, right, Paul?
They did, believe it or not.
Back in the day?
Yeah, possibly a 3-star situation then.
Minus 4 now.
It's probably a falling star at the minute.
Yeah.
At best.
Because there's another room through there.
Yeah, trying to room there. Yeah, so I don't know what was the doorway there.
Yep.
So, whether...
Oh, there's a door there and then another little room around there. Maybe that was like a toilet or something, was it? No?
So I'm assuming it's probably just jackaroo quarters.
Yeah. So as you can see, it's a situation of stuff everywhere at the moment, and we've been going through a bit of a process lately, had a bit of time up our sleeves to be able to start going through the old sheds and cleaning stuff out. But I just find it so fascinating that people used to live in this shed. You know how a lot of old farms have stone cottages and stuff? We don't have that on our property here. Instead, it's tin sheds. Huts, whatever you want to call them, but we'll talk about that more soon.
Second full load.
Second load.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Oh, you can actually see the floor now.
Just. Wow, big job like all these things.
Yeah. Well, how many years would it be since this has been cleaned out?
Properly, since we've been here, 1980. We've probably tied it up a few times, but not a proper clean out like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, just throwing a lot of stuff out it's not going to use, as you can see.
Yeah. Last night I gave Dad a call because I was thinking, okay, I need an idea for this week's YouTube video, and considering we saw Paul and Charles down at that shed where people used to live back in the day when they first started on this farm, I thought let's dive into a bit of the history of the farm. And through conversations with Dad, I thought I already knew quite a bit about this property, but I learned even more cool stuff. I love history. I love learning about all this stuff. So today, I'm going to go on a little bit of an excursion, we'll call it. I'm going to drive into Keith. I know there's a bit of a tourist spot where it will talk about the AMP development here. Not that I think our farm was part of that, but it kind of fits into the picture of all the history here. And then there's things around the farm, such as we got the meat shed. There's a place where they used to milk the cow, not our family, but the people that had the property before us. The hut they lived in. What else is there? There's all sorts of stuff. Anyway, they had to be pretty self-sufficient out here. But I won't talk about it now. We'll dive into it, into the video and talk about it more. It's pretty interesting. So let's go on a little excursion and see what we can find. So what I do know about this property is that there was only one owner before us, and that owner was a corporate, I'm pretty sure, and they had someone managing the farm. It had a shorthorn cattle stud. They had sheep, pastures, and they had horses, I'm guessing for the stock work, and also a racehorse as well. I drove into Keith because I wanted to do a little bit of research about farming in this area. It just occurred to me, I've lived here for just about my whole life and I don't really know a lot about it. I went to the library and found a couple of good books that a lovely lady at the council office recommended I check out. Happy with this. I'm going to take these books home for a read. I was going to sit in the library and then Jess was like, you can borrow them and take them home, and I was like, I forgot that's what you do at a library, you borrow books. So this will be good. I'm excited to do a bit of research. I then played tourist and went to the AMP Land Development Memorial because I know that this AMP Land Development Scheme is what really put Keith on the map. And there were a few scientists that discovered that with trace elements, the poor soils around here could be turned into productive pasture. And one of those scientists was Dr. Reisman. Now we are going to talk about him again soon, so just make a note of that. And then I stopped by the old settler's cottage from 1894. And it was so cool walking around there. But it was at this point, I was like, you know what? I want to learn all this stuff properly. I know people in this town that know this information much better than I do. So I want to make a separate YouTube video about the AMP development scheme, the old settler's cottage, the history of this farming region and town, because I think it will be a lot better coming from people that know more about it than me. I'm not quite sure how I'd go living here. I'm 6 foot tall. I would need to duck for the doorways. So back to the farm for now. I've definitely opened a can of worms and want to learn more about this farming district. But back to our property for now, back to this old hut where people would have lived when they first started setting up, establishing this farm here. Well, one thing is for sure, this is a lot tidier than it was yesterday. I'm not quite sure what this section through here was, but I did notice there's a chimney there. And then if we come through here, it's not a cement floor out here either. It's got this little section here. And then there was another door just there. But then this is, yeah. Oh, there's another door here as well. And we got the light switch here. Guessing, oh, turn off. So this must have been like the main house kind of area because this is all cemented, is my guess. I love these old doors as well, but once again, they're just slowly decaying. Makes me so sad. You can see there's another chimney here. Oh, that's cool. You can kind of see the outside of the fireplace. So these bricks were the outside. Oh, there's more bricks down here. So that must have been the fireplace. And then the chimney up the top there. When I was younger growing up on the farm here, this shed was just where they kept the dog nuts to feed the sheepdogs. So that's the only reason I would go in there. I never thought about the history of the place, but these days I find it so fascinating thinking about who would have lived here back in the day. And to be honest, it would have been less than 100 years ago. So obviously they needed to be quite self-sufficient out here in the sticks. And that's the other interesting thing I learned about this property. There's a shed over there, I'm going to take you there in a sec, where they used to milk a cow, so they had their own milk. We've got the chook pens, so obviously they'd have their eggs. The meat shed, we also have a meat shed, and Dad said that when they first bought the property back in 1980, they did use the meat shed to cut up their own meat. Ever since I can remember the meat shed, we used it to store our bikes in, our push bikes. The stables on the farm come at a later date. I believe the owners had a racehorse and it won quite a bit of money, and that's when they built the stables. I've been going through the old records. I found them in Dad's office. He told me where they were, and it's so fascinating. They've got the drawings for the main house on the farm. There's a few houses here, but the main homestead, they've got all the plans and drawings for that. So cool. They've got the plans for the old sheep yards. We've obviously had an upgrade since then. Same with the cattle yards, the stables. It's so fascinating. I'm not sure what people that lived here back in the day would think about the fact I quite often drive into town to get a coffee and drive back again. Seems a bit extravagant, doesn't it? This here is where they used to milk the cow. It is now a chemical shed. It's padlocked. I can't get into it. It's all locked up. But in there is where they milked the cow. How cool is that? I just absolutely love the woodwork in here. So organic. Very cool. And then again, we have one of these cool old doors, but it's just falling to pieces. There's a horseshoe on there. So I always thought this place was to do with horses, but it's actually not. Whoops, I'm going to show you inside. I just absolutely love how the posts are just like tree logs. They're not straight. They're just very organic. I just love how they got these random hooks there as well. Just bolted in. I wonder what it used to look like in here back when they used to milk the cow. I absolutely love anything with a bit of history on the farm, and as you can see, it's all starting to go backwards a bit. But I guess that's why Dad, my uncles, and my grandpa when he was still alive, that's why they've got ahead so much in farming, because they invest time and money into things that help make more money and improve the farm. And I guess things like this, they don't use it for anything. So maybe it's not a good use of money to be doing up all this old stuff and preserving it all, but I think it's pretty cool. Then we've got the girls, the chooks. So these chook pens, I believe, were here already when they bought the farm. So back when there was lots of us living on the farm, there was my grandparents in the main house, my family, I've got 3 siblings, mum and dad, and then my auntie and uncle, they had 3 kids, another auntie and uncle with 3 kids. There was lots of us living on the farm, so we had lots of chooks. Both these chook pens had a heap of chooks in them, so we were well supplied with eggs. And I do also remember using this pen for some pet lambs back in the day as well. We'd put a heap of straw or hay in there to keep them warm. I do remember my first pet lamb that actually survived. Gee, there was some heartbreak along the way. I remember one of my brothers, he had a pet lamb called Buster and it died, and he was devastated, which is fair enough as a kid, and he vowed he would never have a pet lamb again, and I don't think he ever did. But my pet lamb that lived on was Daisy. I loved my Daisy lamb. I'd just cruise around with her during the day. Yeah, pretty cool upbringing growing up on a farm. And next up we have the meat shed. Now once again, the meat shed hasn't been used. When things don't get used, they go backwards pretty quickly. Dad said when they first bought the farm, they did use this meat shed to cut up their own meat, but ever since I was a kid, all I remember is storing our bikes in there. We'd call it the bike shed, or put our bikes in the meat shed to keep them out of the weather. Now you'll see bikes in there for my nieces and nephews for when they come to visit the farm. You can see how having a meat shed would have been so handy for being self-sufficient back in the day, and all the hooks, the saws, all the stuff is still in there. It just hasn't been used for a very long time. Okay, now this next bit of history is something that I was like, that is so cool, and how did I not know this already? Are you ready? So earlier on I mentioned Dr. Reisman. He's one of the guys that discovered the land out here was just missing some trace elements, and it's just changed the land out here so that it's actually farming land now. And guess what? This old banger of a ute, this old cruiser, Toyota Land Cruiser, was Dr. Reisman's. I only learnt this last night. I called Dad. I wanted to find out some more information about the history of this place. And Dr. Reisman used to have a property next door to the previous farm Dad, Grandpa and my uncles had. And they actually managed Dr. Reisman's farm, and they said he was just the loveliest man. And he actually sold them this ute. Before he owned it, it was a Telstra ute. So it was red, I believe, and then he had it and he sold it to Dad, Grandpa and my uncles for a really good price. And guess what? It still goes, but I don't think they've started it up for a number of years by the look of it. I don't know about you, but I just thought that was such a cool piece of history, the fact that Dr. Reisman sold this ute to Dad, Grandpa and my uncles. How cool is that? And the fact they used to manage his property as well. I want to get Dad and my uncles on here to tell some stories. I'd prefer it come firsthand from them, but for now, you've got me. I went for a little drive to the edge of a national park reserve area near our farm just to show you an example of what the scrubland looked like. I think it's definitely thinned out a lot over the years, but this is kind of what the country used to look like back in the day. And whilst Dr. Reisman hasn't been around for some time now, I got a little bit lost there, he's definitely had a lasting impact with the farming country around here. It's just so much better. It's beautiful country now. So you get ready for it. You come out of this scrub, which is actually on our property. And then you've got this cropping country here. Back in the day, this land wouldn't have grown crops or pastures like we have today. And of course, since then, we've also had the addition of delving, clay spreading, all that kind of stuff as well. This land, as Dad and my uncles keep saying, it just keeps getting better and better. This shed here, I believe they call the pump shed. Well, when they tell me to turn on the pump or turn off the pump, I come to the pump shed here. And this is a lot tidier than it was this time last year. But when the guys were cleaning this shed out, they found this. And when I opened it up, I was like, I have a feeling this is like a billy or something they would make tea in. It's so cool. Let me show you. And so you pull the lid off and it's the cup, I believe. It's got like little handles as well. So cool, look at that. And so I'm pretty sure they'd boil the water in this, and this would be their cup to drink their cup of tea. I made a video about it on TikTok to ask people what it is, and I believe they call it a quart pot. And this is the saddle bag that it would have been in as well. So this fits in here. is so cool. So I'm guessing, like they did used to have horses on this farm, the owners before us. So I'm guessing this would have been attached to the saddle or something. Correct me if I'm wrong. Get that to fit back in there. But yeah, isn't that a cool little piece of history? So when the guys found this, I said, don't throw it out. I'm even thinking maybe I give it to the council office or something in case they have any little displays with history in the area, stuff like that. I don't know, I think it's a pretty cool little find. Well, today's YouTube video wasn't what I thought it was going to be, but I hope you enjoyed it just the same. And as for next week, I will have my spy cam out. I will be reminding Paul every day of the week that I want to get footage of classing the hogget ewes. So hopefully that will be the video for next week. Don't forget to hit subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any future videos. And please give this one a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, be wildly you and live life your way. Have a great week. Bye.
Burn a little brighter every day, swimming in the tide against the waves, and I can hold my breath until they crash.